Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Learn English with Football show. And this is a weekly show about football, about the Premier League specifically, that is broadcast on this channel, on Teacher Zdenek YouTube channel. And this time we're going to be talking about game week 14 of the Premier League. 2 more game weeks to go before the World Cup break, actually. The question I have for you guys is, should I do a World Cup special? This is a question for the viewers of this channel. Let me know in the comments what you think, if that's a good idea or not. And before I introduce our guests, let me remind you that in the last segment of this show, there is something that's called Language Corner. That's when I go through selected vocabulary from this show. So it's a nice opportunity for you to practice some interesting language that our guests will produce here. And speaking of our guests, who are they today? None other than Henry. Hi, Henry.
Hello.
And the one and only Paul. Hi, Paul.
Thank you. Yeah, thank God there's only one. Hello, Zdenek.
And hopefully we have one more guest. Okay. So Henry, obviously a happy Arsenal fan.
Yes, very happy. Yeah.
Arsenal fan, yeah. And we should also show everybody where they can find you. You are an English teacher, and this is your Instagram handle.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul,
I'll have to follow you.
Yeah, Paul is going to follow you. So there you go.
You have +1 today.
Plus
That's
one.
great.
Every little helps.
Yeah.
And
You have to follow me back, though.
Yes, I'll get on it.
Okay, this is obviously Paul's Instagram handle, and Paul is also an English teacher, and he specifically does videos and posts about football as well, like I do. So we are very similar in that.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned the World Cup special, Zdenek, the Czech Republic in the World Cup.
No.
Okay, so this is why you're asking the question.
I wonder, would I be more interested in doing it if the Czech Republic were there? Probably, but to be honest, I would probably do it anyway because, I'm going to be enjoying the World Cup more than ever before, because now that I follow the Premier League so thoroughly, I think I have better knowledge of the players and,
There are lots of players in the Premier League. I saw a post the other day on the BBC, and it had a picture of a photograph of Qatar 2022, and it asked, "Are you getting excited for the World Cup?" And they like thumbs up, thumbs down, and there were about 100 people who said you've had thumbs up, about 10,000 people with thumbs down, and I thought, wow, okay, people don't seem as excited for this World Cup as usual.
We can talk about. I'm sure we'll get to it if we do a World Cup special, because it's not that straightforward this time, is it? I'm not sure about it myself, to be honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's just lots of things going on, I think, isn't there? Like the season is going on, the Christmas is going on. It's a busy time of year usually.
It's really, really strange, and the stuff that's happening in the world is even stranger. And we also have Marv here. Hi, Marv. How are you today,
brother? Yeah, doing good. I like the discussion. I remember you, Paul. How's it going?
Hi, Marvin. I'm okay. I've been better.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Yeah.
Right. Marvin, this is your Instagram. This is where people can follow Marvin. He is also an English teacher. So you guys have 4 English teachers in one go here. What's going on?
Loving this.
Enjoy while it lasts, okay? So Marvin, a Chelsea fan. We should get this out of the way. We have one person that is going to be really, really jubilant after the victory of Arsenal, and 2 people that are disappointed with their results, which we have to get through anyway, and respect for turning up despite the circumstances.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. So, as you know, we have got our usual segments, and I would like to, at this point, I would like to encourage our viewers to also take part in the discussion. There is what we call super chat. So, make comments, leave comments, ask questions, whatever. The world is yours. So, the world is your oyster. Or what's the expression?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, where is it? We're starting with matches we have seen. All right, who would like to go first?
Go on, Henry.
All right, I'll go first. So I saw, I've seen the second half of the Arsenal Forest game, and I saw some of the Man United West Ham game as well. I caught a bit of football yesterday. And was there anything else? I'm trying to think. Did I see a little bit of the Man City game as well, but not much?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, very similar, but I didn't see any of Arsenal. I saw the second half of Liverpool. I didn't watch the first half. I was out. It was watching fireworks, and then I saw most of the Manchester City match. Well, until they scored, actually, and then I turned it over.
Isn't this what we all do? Isn't this what we all do?
Absolutely, yes.
I did the same with Manchester United midweek when they played Sheriff.
Yes,
They scored just before half time, so I turned it over there.
You always have that hope.
Yeah.
Until they score the first goal.
I watched, obviously, the Chelsea game. I watched Man United West Ham. And did I see any others? Tiny bit of the Tottenham game, and then I felt sick, so I turned that off. Yeah, those were the only ones I saw this week because I'm happy I came on here to discuss with other football fans, but I'm feeling very, very far detached from it at this point.
Yeah,
I am too.
Yeah, I can understand that. But at least you guys were really good in the previous seasons. We've kind of been bouncing around third to fifth for the last couple, and it is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing because I've been a fan for a long time. I've been a fan for about 28, 29 years. So I have experienced Chelsea not being good. But when they were not good, the fight was always there. So if we lost a game, you would always know they'd leave the blood out there and it would feel good. Whereas now, I'm so used to them being good, and I expect them to be good because the money they get paid and all of this stuff. And when they're not good, I kind of just feel angry. I feel so much anger.
We will get to that, Marvin. We will get to that in due course. We feel your pain. We feel your pain because we especially Henry
you
and
aren't
I.
Feeling any pain?
Henry and I have been Arsenal fans.
No,
so
we've suffered.
We've been there before.
Just don't ask me to come on the show after our next fixture.
I know, big one next week. Arsenal at home. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Chelsea at home, isn't it?
Chelsea
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's at Stamford Bridge, I think. Yeah. So okay, and I saw the Leicester Manchester City game. I think I didn't see the whole game either, and I saw the De Bruyne goal though, and Liverpool Leeds. I watched some bits and bobs from that. I didn't see the whole thing, but I think I watched the second half mainly. Liverpool Leeds, and because it was a weird time, right? It was on Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal, Forest, and Manchester United, West Ham United as well. And a few highlights from other games too. Okay, now we have got quite a relatively new segment called The Biggest Surprise. So...
What prompted this, Zdenek?
I don't know.
It's got to be one
Liverpool
of
results. Do you want to hear that?
It's one of the Liverpool or Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I did that last week. So probably it was the Forest game.
No,
Forest Liverpool game.
The biggest surprise is it's got to be the Fulham and Everton 0-0. I didn't see many 0-0.
Okay, then we'll take it. We'll take it.
It's a good
Even
question.
if it's a joke, it's fine.
It's a good
What about
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
And it's a good question, actually, because what was more surprising, us getting destroyed by Brighton, who hadn't won in 5 games, or Liverpool losing to one of the worst teams in the league at home when they don't lose home games? It's quite a tough, really.
It's the first time they've lost in front of fans. If you take out that season, it's like 5.5 years.
Long time.
Van Dijk has never Van Dijk had never lost at Anfield until
70
that match.
70, yeah. In
What
70 matches.
What a player he is.
Yeah.
But Liverpool's results have been like crazy, haven't they? You never know what is going to happen when you check the results, and you never know what it's going to be.
No.
But the Chelsea one, that really surprised me.
Yeah.
It's just, I couldn't believe. I thought Potter was sort of had them on their sort of a solid base. They were moving in the right direction, and then 4-1, amazing.
Personally, I lean towards the Liverpool game because I could see that Chelsea thing coming. Actually,
Yeah,
I'll tell you why later. But I couldn't see Liverpool losing against Leeds. No way.
Yeah,
that
but
made no sense.
even after you saw Leeds play so well against Arsenal, I mean, I thought they should have won that game. They were
They
amazing.
beat us 3-0.
Leeds
Yeah.
were
I feel like
amazing.
Anfield is the place where Liverpool don't lose. Like, it just
but
doesn't
Leeds hadn't won in 8 matches, I think.
Was
And
the-
same with
Exactly.
Forest,
Was the
Leeds hadn't
7th
won in 8 matches.
exactly.
Was the
Exactly.
7th game? Was the 7th one against Chelsea where we
I
lost
think it
3-0?
must have been the last one.
They are
And
in a similar position. Your
Forest
teams,
was
actually.
similar.
I was looking up the stats like of the recent form of the teams, and yes, you're right about that.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have dealt with the surprise of the week, right? I guess.
Surprises.
Let's move. Yeah, surprises of the week, and let's move on to game week highlights, which is the main meat of the show. I apologize to all our vegan fans for introducing this segment like this, but
No, the main meal or the main meat?
the main meat, I said, didn't I? Didn't I say the main meat? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let's start with the. I think we have to start with the Arsenal. Not with the Arsenal game. That's going to be the last one. Sorry, with the Liverpool Leeds game. Okay, so 1-2 Leeds securing a victory, their first win in a lot of matches. In
I
like
think 8 matches, yeah.
8 matches, yeah. So
They deserved it. Second half, they played well. Liverpool have looked tired in a few matches in the second half. Okay, Liverpool had chances, and Meslier has made the most saves ever in a Premier League football match.
I think
That was the record. He made 9 saves.
I'm glad that happens to other teams as well. When,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
these
yeah.
goalkeepers putting incredible performances against your team.
Jordan Pickford against Chelsea every bloody game. I'm looking at the stats right now, and Liverpool should have really won this. I'm not one of those people that believes possession is, the law in that sense.
Yeah.
But 69%, 10 shots on target, 10 shots off target to Leeds is 6 and 6. Maybe.
Yeah, but Leeds were in it second half. I didn't see the first half. I saw the end of it. Terrible mistake by Gomez. I think it was Gomez, not Alisson.
I wanted to talk about that. Yeah. So what happened there, Paul? So Gomez, he passed the ball. He wanted to pass the ball to Alisson, right? To his goalkeeper.
Yeah. And he's made a few mistakes. Gomez didn't play last year. He was nowhere near the first team, to be honest, because Matip wasn't injured. And this year, and Konate was played when Matip didn't play. So, but this year he has had to play, and he made a mistake last week in the Forest game that caused the goal, and then this week he made the mistake that gave them a 1-0 lead early on.
And it was very early as well. It was very early. It killed the buzz a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, but we still had time. So then we get the equaliser early, and then you think, okay, we're going to get the second goal. But in the second half, Liverpool did have chances, and Núñez missed a couple of one-on-ones. Salah missed a couple of, not missed any, but didn't take advantage of the situation. And then, but Leeds were in the match. Leeds were in Liverpool's half. They were going for it. They weren't sitting back. They were in the match. And
I agree. They played really well. They played on counter-attacks, and they did. I think I agree with Marvin that Liverpool had more chances, but I was watching the second half, And for me, it looked like a deserved win in the sense of you're playing at Anfield, yeah. So if you pull it off, you might as well like deserve it, right? So it wasn't like one of those freak results like where I don't know, Crystal Palace beat City or something. It was deserved, in my opinion.
The
For their
fans were
effort.
really good.
Yep.
The fans supported them, the manager kept them going and pushing.
Exactly.
So credit to
They
them.
scored
really.
they scored the winner at the right time, didn't they? Just at the
Just
end,
right at the
because
end,
you don't want to make Liverpool angry. You don't want to give them a
No.
chance to come back into the game.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a proper smash and grab right at the end.
What a goal it was as well. The guy's name is Summerville. I was looking him up. He's Dutch.
Crescencio.
I like his name. But I really like the name. It's such a nice name, Summerville. Yeah, it's a really nice name. And the goal and the celebration, and he was like genuinely happy. And the fans, they just went.
Jesse Marsh's celebration was
that guy.
Wow.
That coach can F right off.
I'm not a big fan, Marvin.
No, me
I'm not a
neither.
fan.
He's just not respectful, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, they win, fine, you win the game and you celebrate. Like, I mean, I really like Klopp, and I know there's some contention about him, but I don't think he's really disrespectful to other coaches. And whereas, like this Jesse Marsh guy, every week he does something to annoy me.
Yeah.
Is it like Mourinho?
Worse.
I know. I try not to because I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of like, oh, he's American, get him out of our game type of thing. But he does do things that annoy a lot of people in England and even Leeds fans, I think. But and his celebration when they scored, it was a bit David Brentish, I thought.
Yeah,
he overdid it a little bit, didn't he? I have to say. But at the same time, you kind of have to understand, Henry, that he has been under a lot of pressure because he is one of those under fire managers, right? And at Leeds, it must be difficult to be at Leeds where the fans absolutely adore Marcelo Bielsa even after he's gone. He's still a legend there.
That's why his celebration was annoying, though, because it wasn't like a relief. It was like it was a weird dance thing what he did.
No, But my point is that he is an under pressure manager, and it was for him. It was like a release of those emotions for him, yeah.
But,
because it seems to me that his players, he has players behind him, right?
Yeah.
That's important.
Is he an under pressure manager? Because you hear the media. So you hear the media saying that he's under pressure and he's got to win to save his job, but you never really know what's going on inside the club.
That's true.
And they might just be absolutely fine with him. I thought the performances, like we said, have been really good.
And also,
that's the best I've seen anyone play against Arsenal this year.
And also, you've got to really consider who plays in this team. I mean, 15th is I would even say above their level. If you look at the teams that are below them, Aston Villa, better squad. Southampton, maybe similar level. Leicester got better players in the 11. Wolves, better players. They invest more, I think. Nottingham Forest, they've got 11 new players. I think they should be candidates for going down. I mean, I see only Bournemouth have a worse team. And Bournemouth are above them by 1, in my opinion, anyway. And they're 15th right now. So, what they're expecting the coach to really do with the team.
Yeah, 15 goals as well.
It's good.
And, if you're scoring goals, you're in a good position to stay up.
Yeah.
I agree, but at the same time, if you get 2 points out of 8 matches, there is a case to be made against you. And I think
depends on the result, the type of result though. Like were they getting beaten 5-0 and 4-0 and were they? I don't remember.
Yeah, I agree. But what's important is that the players seem to be up for it. The players were behind the manager for sure. So that's important, yeah.
And the fans gave them great support. But if the fans turn, just looking on forums and seeing the Leeds fans, a few people were not convinced because they haven't picked up points. And if the fans turn against the manager, as the Villa fans did with Gerrard, you don't last very long.
But that's a good comparison because they were playing dreadful week and week and week. He should have gone earlier. Whereas, if you're competitive in these games and you're still losing, it's the same thing that why I'm angry with this result. We were not competitive against a team we should be blowing away. Yes, Brighton's a good side, but A team that invests as much as Chelsea and Liverpool and City and Tottenham, Man United should beat these teams. And if they're going to lose, okay, but you can't lose 4-1. You cannot get battered. You cannot.
We will get to that in a second.
Chelsea played well midweek, I thought. What I saw of them, they battled and fought against a lively Salzburg team. So going into that match, I thought, I think Chelsea will beat Brighton, even though Brighton are playing well. But maybe these Champions League matches are just taking, like, it's been a long 2 years for some of these players, and I think it might be taking its toll on some of them.
That's fair.
Possibly.
That's fair.
Right, we will get to Chelsea in a second, guys. But I still want to discuss Liverpool. Paul, I need to ask you now. So, what's wrong with Liverpool? Very simple question. What's wrong with Liverpool? Is it injuries? Is it Klopp? Is it lack of motivation? A little bit of hangover?
I think
the body language doesn't seem right. The lack of confidence. What's going on? All of this.
Yeah, the body language was poor, I thought, against Leeds. I think it's a mixture of all things. So, a couple of injuries, but we still have good enough players on the pitch. I think Diaz and Jota are big misses. Even though Firmino is scoring, he hasn't been playing well for me. I think, he hasn't been playing well. The midfield is too wide open. He plays Harvey Elliott as one of the midfield three. And Harvey Elliott is doing well, but he's not a midfield. He's not in the engine room, Harvey Elliott. If I have Harvey Elliott in your engine room, you're lacking something. And every time we lose the ball, we concede a chance, or we look like we're going to concede a goal when we're too wide open. Fabinho has been poor, but he's also exposed in midfield. It's just him with Harvey Elliott one side. Thiago's been brilliant when he plays. Liverpool are a different team, to be honest, but he plays 2 out of every 3 matches, if that.
So why is the midfield like this? No one's injured from the midfield, are they?
Where's Keita?
Keita and Chamberlain. Chamberlain didn't play the end of last season and wasn't even getting on the bench in some matches, but then it looked like he was going to play him this year, which was a bit strange at the start.
Wasn't he injured?
Season. And then he got injured, as he always does. Keita got injured, as he always does.
That's why we got rid of him,
Well, as an outsider, because I see quite a lot of Liverpool matches, especially in last season, I think there's a lot of good players there, but I think that there are also players that one thing I think about Liverpool is that there's a distance between some of the really good ones. For example, you mentioned Jota, who does get you goals, and Diaz, who I think is fantastic. And then when you drop him, you've got the likes of Harvey Elliott, who I think is just okay, and you've got people like Gomez, who I believe is just shocking. So then you've got I think that it reminds me of when Klopp first came to the club, where before you got Van Dijk, and there was always massive gaps. You conceded chances like every couple of times, and it feels a bit like that this time. But I had a look at some of your injuries, and I think it might be something down to that, because if you've got on one side Salah and Diaz, then the teams can't attack as much because there are good players that are going to hurt you. It's something that we don't have in our team. So I always notice when will get you on the counter or they get the ball off you in the high areas, there's going to be a chance.
We went last year from having the best squad of Klopp's reign. Klopp, has done well every year pretty much, but we've never challenged for every trophy like City have until last year, and we had a good squad to do that. Like Minamino was coming up with goals, Origi was coming up with goals, players like this who we sold in the summer and never really replaced.
Well, silly to sell Origi.
Money also a problem, obviously.
I don't
know why you sold Origi. Why did you sell Origi? He was a good squad player, I think.
Yeah, and he's now going to be a squad player for Milan, I think, as well.
He was a piece of furniture, at Liverpool. Come on.
Yeah, so we're just a bit thin. The midfield hasn't been playing so well. And Klopp, I think, we played 4-4-2 versus Manchester City with Salah up front, because I think the midfield is too exposed, too wide open when we lose the ball. So playing 4-4-2 went out of fashion in England because of the two in midfield being too exposed. So everyone started wanting 3 in midfield. But 4-4-2 versus City was good with Salah up front, Firmino just behind, dropping in the midfield. But we can't do that against Notts Forest. We couldn't do that against anyone else. We can only do that against teams who try and come out and attack us. So we've gone back to 4-3-3, and we're too exposed when we lose the ball. And yeah, we're not looking like we're going to get top 4 now, to be honest. You kind of, yeah.
I want
9
to ask.
points behind Newcastle, I think, in 4th, 8
Yeah.
or 9 points behind. But just the way we're playing, which is, you can recover those points, but just the way we're playing, losing to Forest and then Leeds, you can't say that we're going to get top 4.
You're also 15 points behind Arsenal, Henry. How does that sound? How does that sound to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. For me, Arsenal, the goal this season is to finish top 4. So I'm always just looking at how are the other teams who are challenging for those top 4 positions doing. So every week, that's the first thing I check. And
no matter what,
Liverpool, it's great.
It is still early days, you know.
Spurs are not going away, are they?
They are not.
They're not playing
absolutely
well at all. And
exactly.
they're not going away. Yeah.
Oh, they are so annoying. So
they will bottle it. They will always bottle it. They always.
I wish they bottle it quicker.
I don't think you're going to have as much trouble finding the top 4 this time. I think that your team is a lot better than it was last season. I mean, you should have got it even last season, but I think that this time you'll be okay. Team's better.
But Liverpool is a really interesting one, and I think it's, you know, Klopp has done amazing to sort of to achieve the things he has. And in the times of sort of Man City, when Man City are like the greatest team in sort of like Premier League history, and to be sort of competitive is unbelievable. But it's always that sort of, you know, when you've got to sort of make a new team, basically, it's so hard. It's really difficult, you know. And I think, you know, the fact that Liverpool are now a bit crazy and around 9th, that's probably kind of normal when you're trying to put a new team together, you know. But everyone has such high expectations of Liverpool.
Absolutely.
They expect them to be up in first, but it can't be like that, you know. It takes a long time to get it sorted out.
Do you agree, Marvin, that Liverpool were punching above their weight, actually?
Definitely not. I think that no, not at all. I think that they've got a very good team, and if they didn't have the injuries, I think maybe it's just slowing down. I think if you were to ask me what the problem would be, it would be that the position that they're in is a lot weaker than the position other spending teams are in. So, for example, Man City, Man United, those teams, they can throw money around and sometimes on terrible players, whereas Liverpool cannot do this. The problem is, I think that when they bought the players, they bought Salah, they bought Mane, they bought Firmino, hit every time. They were all great, and it all worked as a perfect storm. But now, the last couple of signings have been flop, you know, so it's not going as well. I'm not saying that Núñez isn't a good player. I think he will score goals. But
he's a crazy player, isn't he? He's like sometimes you think, oh, wow, that was good. And then other times you think, it's like League Two standard sometimes.
I kind of like him, though. I think he can get goals. I think he
can run.
Yeah, he will be all right.
He will get goals.
I don't think he is as bad as some people are saying, and I definitely think he's better than a lot of strikers that have played in big clubs over the last couple of years. But you know, he's not Mane, and this is the problem. Mane, Salah were not just good; they were great. And when you lose one that was great, you need to replace with great. And if you can't, we had the same problem. We didn't replace Hazard with great. We didn't replace Costa with great. We replaced them with bad players.
But sometimes you don't have to replace them with someone great, but you have to have someone who sort of fits the system that you play. And does Núñez fit the Liverpool, the Klopp system?
Not for me, actually. Yeah, I don't know why they went
in this way.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why they went for a big 9 when they don't play that style. But I do think he'll be a good. He's okay. He's a decent player. But I think that when the player is that good, if you can't replace him with great, you've got to replace other areas in your team with great. So, for example, if you lose someone like Hazard, you have to buy a few players that maybe aren't as good as him, but you've got one on the left, one on the right, one in midfield, And the same with if Mane goes, maybe they needed a stronger midfielder to create more chances, or maybe they needed someone to deputise the wing backs, because when Trent doesn't play and when Robertson doesn't play, maybe that could be a problem. So it's the same when we're going to lose Kante. Just one midfielder isn't going to replace that. You're going to have to get a few players in different areas so that the team still competes. That's what I think, anyway.
The team that Klopp wanted Nunes to play in hasn't played yet. Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Nunes up front, like the midfield, firing the fullbacks to defend. We haven't had our strongest team out yet, so I think the players are still getting used to Nunes, and hopefully they will. Oh yeah, hopefully he will get.
Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that. And moving on, Marvin. So your team, Chelsea, lost Brighton. Obviously, the main talking point was because you've got obviously a new manager, Graham Potter, who used to be an excellent manager at Brighton, and you sacked your not you, Marvin, personally, but your owners decided to sack Thomas Tuchel in my opinion, in an unprecedented fashion, and then you bought out a really successful manager. And now this manager, who, in my opinion, started really well at Chelsea, now he had to go to play against his own. So what do you think, Marvin? How did that go?
I'm in the minority because, like, I went back home to the UK for a few weeks, and I went to a game. I went to Chelsea-Leicester, and I went on my phone after 20 minutes. I was bored. I was tired. And every game with Tuchel this season I love Tuchel. I think he was amazing, and I think he did well. But he did get backed, and this is my argument. He did get backed, and you cannot be humiliated. A big club, you cannot be humiliated. You cannot play terrible every single week, which we did. We should have lost to Leicester. They missed open goals. They should have won the game. We made stupid. Every game was bad. We lost to Southampton. Terrible performance.
It went stale, like really quick with Tuchel, didn't it?
Yeah, it was slow. It was lethargic. He was picking players out of position all the time. Keep putting Mount on the wing. Potter's doing it as well. Don't like that either. So I was in favour of sacking. I was actually in favour. And I've mostly been in favour when it's happened a good 90% of the time because it's resulted in success. I'm Graham Potter. If you remember the last time I was on the show, we had the Brighton fan on there, and I said I would have liked having him. So actually, he was my choice. I don't really blame him for this loss. The performance just was terrible, but in my opinion, there's just, unfortunately, players that we have signed are not actually that good. For example, Sterling can't beat a man, so why have you got him? I don't think that you should be buying wingers without any 1v1 quality. This is just a personal opinion. But if you're buying wingers with no 1v1 quality, you set yourself up for failure unless they've got a really good final ball. And if you don't have that, then because you can't do anything apart from getting the ball in the final third. And it's been a problem for us for the last couple of years. We've bought wide players that can't beat men. So we had Ziyech that's only good at like bringing it in and doing crosses. You got Sterling, and all they can really do is tap the ball in from 3 yards. Or get something in the box. I like Sterling, but it's not a 1v1. And I always wanted 1v1 people. All the people I wanted, they didn't go for. So if you don't have that, you also don't have the fear factor. So every single team is going to put everyone behind the ball and counter-attack you. And when you've got players that are and the problem is a lot are fans. They hype up these players that are just average, like Trevor Chalobah and players that Mason Mount.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I feel, is a bit average as well.
Maybe. I mean, I've always really liked Loftus-Cheek because he's a good carrier, and those are the kind of midfield players I like. But again, he doesn't score any goals. He don't score any goals. He doesn't create any goals. So why is he on the pitch? If you're an attacker in any kind of way and you're not creating or doing anything, then why are you playing?
We're playing. Who started up front last weekend? Who started as the number 9? Was it Havertz?
Havertz, yeah. I don't know why Aubameyang wasn't starting the game. He's much better as a forward for me. Havertz as well, he's been underwhelming. He scored that Champions League winning goal, which is a wonderful thing, but he's not a striker. He's not a winger. So where is he supposed to play? Why did we buy him if you didn't know where you're going to play someone? There are good players. I think Cucurella is really good, but they're playing him at centre-back instead of playing him as a wing-back. You've got Thiago Silva. our best players are injured. Reece James isn't playing. He's pretty much our best player. We're playing players who cannot progress the ball, like Gallagher. I like him, but he doesn't progress the ball. So if we get in the ball in defence, we're easily getting pressed, which is what happened in this game. We got pressed and the game was over in 13 minutes. We have really good young players. For example, Carney Chukwuemeka, who's not getting games. I don't know why when other people
Is that the one from Aston Villa?
Yeah, come off the bench in 2 games, was brilliant in both of them.
Yeah.
Always looks bright. We've got Armando Broja as a striker. I think he could also be worth giving a game or two. Instead, they go with Havertz. It frustrates me seeing Mount on the wing over and over again when he's not a winger. He doesn't create any chances for the strikers. He can occasionally score a goal, but he's a midfielder. He's not an attacker.
No.
So
has Potter changed the system much?
Yeah.
There's a little bits of differences. So if you look at the way that the centre-backs set up, they go wider. So now we've got the one in the middle. With Tuchel, there would be 1, 2, 3 there, and you'd have your wing-backs. But now you've got the 2 that go even wider. So then the wing-backs stay.
Yeah.
It's much more attack-based, but I think it might take a while before we're seeing significant results from this.
They're not Potter's players either, are they? Presumably all of these were signed for Tuchel.
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean,
And then
mixture of coaches, but that's what the best coaches do. They can fit a system and they can make a team play well. I mean, it's not like he's joined a team that has 12 average players. This is a multi-million pound team, so it should be doing better. At the bare minimum, we should not be losing 4-1 to Brighton. We should.
I want to ask Henry to get Henry involved here a little bit. I understand the frustration, Marvin, though. Like, I understand. But, like, in my opinion, there is this big factor of Potter going back to IMAX, the stadium, the Brighton stadium. I think it's just written in the stars, because if you think about it, the level that you cannot match the level of motivation that his ex-player, the Brighton players, had to beat him, and he beating them. Like, I can't imagine like how much they must have been fired up for that game. Like, imagine that. And the new manager, what's his name? The new Brighton manager. I think he probably used it during the preparation for this match. He probably used it in his speeches to motivate his players to beat their former manager. Honestly, I'm not surprised, because for me this is like logical.
I guess so, but Brighton have been good all season.
Except the last few matches, right? So they haven't really been.
They drew with Forest, but they dominated them. Forest didn't get out of their half. They just couldn't score last week.
Yeah.
Brighton have been really good.
So I found the stats, and in the previous 5 matches, they only got 2 points. So they started off really well. They were top 4.
One of them was against
at the beginning of the
City,
season.
Yeah,
but then
City.
now they
and
kind
Spurs as well, isn't it?
Now they kind of fell off, and I think it's probably related to Potter leaving, right? I think. But now they've
had tough games.
Yeah, and I do agree that there is, certain things can just motivate the players. And although I try not to sort of like think too much about sort of these sort of soft factors like motivation and sort of, whatever, the fight and things like that. But, it just does seem like sometimes they've all got like, a bee up their ass, and they're just sort of running, they're running faster than normal. They're really going for it, and
it was obvious in that match. I saw that. And Trossard was even better than he normally is. Like, it was amazing.
Good, he's good, Trossard.
Yeah. He's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
He starts for Belgium now, doesn't he?
And if we add to it 2 own goals by Chelsea, like, unfortunate, they were unlucky, but it's like
they were not unlucky. They were terrible play, both of them.
Was Trossard playing? He was playing in for Welbeck, was he? Was Welbeck? On the bench?
He did seem central. I don't know. I don't know, but Trossard did seem central. I don't. Yeah.
It's nice that when a sort of a striker gets discovered from within the team, and they sort of they sort of randomly put someone up front, and it turns out absolutely brilliantly. It'll be interesting to see if they stick with it.
Yeah, he did play a striker according to this. They had Kaoru Mitoma that was playing, and everyone was raving about him.
He's fast, isn't he?
Yeah, I never heard of him before this. Did he join the sub?
Yeah, I think he did. I've only seen him come on as a sub a couple of times, but he's looked dangerous every time I've seen him.
Yeah, 25 from Japan.
I mean, that can make a huge difference as well. If you've got somebody who's fast,
Yeah,
it can really, really make a huge difference.
it can, because it scares people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It scares
absolutely.
defenders. Yeah,
Speed and 1v1 quality
Especially-
is key. You need 1v1 quality if you're going to play on the wing. It's why you see people like Sancho doing so badly, because he doesn't have any 1v1 quality. I called that being a flop. I knew he was a flop.
I thought he would be a flop, Marvin. I think he has. He's tricky, isn't he? But I just think, we're not talking about Sancho, but I think doing it in the
Not as good-
Bundesliga doesn't
That's the
translate.
difference, because I didn't want him, and I did want Luis Diaz. And then Liverpool come in that January and bought him, and for me, he's been great. I know I don't think he scored as many, but he's a very good player for me, I think.
Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah, really good.
Good,
I think that's the Arsenal got lucky in that game against Liverpool, and the biggest stroke of luck was Diaz going off injured.
Possibly, yeah. A couple of things still going your way though, Henry and Zdenek. I didn't see the match actually, but I knew you would win. You scored goals.
Oh, you were not that bad. There was a spell where you played really well as well, so it wasn't that straightforward for me, that game. But yeah. But I also want to mention this. I think Marvin has already alluded to it, that Chelsea's next game is against Arsenal. So honestly, any years before this year, we would talk. It would be the other way around. Arsenal would be chasing Chelsea, a lot of points behind, but this time it's Chelsea 10 points behind Arsenal. So I want to ask you, Marvin, going into this game, how confident are you that you can get something out of it?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty confident that we're going to win this game, because I think that when you're at home, it's a different type of proposition when you play. I mean, like if we play the same way we did against Tottenham, which we were unfairly robbed of a good victory, I think that we will deliver. I do think you're very good at the moment. But I think that the penny is going to drop eventually. There's no way you're going to win the league. But I do think that you will finish in the top four, because you've had a really good head start, and I think it's going to be tough for teams to pick up that level of confidence. There's a lot of better players in your team now, so whereas
I'll take that.
In seasons before, I don't think you had very good players. I think your best one you sent away for free. But now you've got like Gabriel Jesus, who I think's awesome. You've got Martinelli, who's getting better and better. You've got Saka, who's good.
Saliba is incredible.
Saliba, another good one. I think Gabriel is going to cost you points.
Yeah.
But Ben White, another good player. You've got now players that are growing and getting better every time. Your midfield is playing really well with Partey, and Xhaka is really good at the moment. So
are Arsenal going to win then?
No, not a chance.
What, you think Chelsea will win?
Absolutely.
Okay, Henry, how do you see this?
How will Chelsea win?
I think win by just because our club is much bigger and much stronger. Than the fact that these kind of things matter in games, right? So when you get there, we're not going to be under as much pressure anymore, because the positivity has been sucked out. So like Arsenal, I think, Arsenal.
Do they call that the dead cat bounce?
Yeah, exactly. I think that Arsenal do have something to lose. If you go back to the game where you played against Southampton, they looked very nervous when they were playing. And I think
Arsenal, I think actually one thing that you can see with a lot of the results is just all of these clubs that are in Europe are knackered.
Yeah,
everybody is really tired, and we're just trying to get through October. That's why the result on the weekend was great, because the last couple have just been really sort of tired performances against PSV and against Southampton and against Leeds as well, And this match, it was sort of, I was worried about the same thing happening, but then in the back of my mind, I think, no, this might be the one where actually this is just the game you need. Nottingham Forest at home, just to really sort of shake off all of the cobwebs and go for it,
Okay, and, Henry, before we get to the Arsenal match, I want to ask you, can we prevent Aubameyang scoring a hat-trick?
He's going to score.
No, these things are written, aren't they? And
Always happens, right?
Wow.
just like when Fabianski has an amazing sort of goalkeeping performance against us, it will be the same. Aubameyang will score.
Giroud scored against us in was it
Yeah.
Europa League final or
Europa
something
League
like
final, yeah,
Come on,
absolutely.
Giroud.
It's going to happen. So
that. Exactly.
but you get
So-
used to it as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
And Fabregas
Okay.
too, right? Fabregas as well.
Yeah.
Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick prediction from Paul. Chelsea, Arsenal.
I thought Chelsea would win because they need to win. Henry mentioned the soft factors, and I like that phrase. I do think it's a factor, yeah. And like
Yeah, me
Chelsea
too.
need to win, but Arsenal are playing well. I think Arsenal's wingers are too fast, and I think the defenders are solid. I think Arsenal will win. Actually, sorry, Marvin.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see next week, or this week actually. It's on Sunday, I believe. And Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, 5-0.
No
What
problem.
do you think? What do you,
Yeah.
Henry? No problem.
Amazing. Yeah, no problem. If they were subbing the players off at 60 minutes, going, so everyone could go and have a rest. It was amazing.
I mean, you know you're bad when Rice Nelson scores against you.
I mean, that was amazing. That should have been surprise of the week earlier on.
Well, he scored twice.
He
Marvin.
scored 2 goals. Yeah,
And he
came
got an
on.
assist on top of that.
It was
wow.
because Saka went off injured, and everyone said, "Oh no," because there's no one else to play out on that right wing, and they
Right.
bring on Reece Nelson, which was amazing because he hasn't played all season, and then he scores 2 goals, 2 lovely goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it must have been literally his first touch of the ball or something as well.
He played really well, actually.
Yeah.
Just in general, it's often when you get sort of a young player without much experience, they just play really conservatively. They just try not to make any mistakes, But he sort of relaxed into it, and
He's had
at
a
the
few
end,
seasons, hasn't he? He was in the Bundesliga last year or the last 2 seasons.
yeah, exactly, and and he had a really good half season over there, but he's had an injury as well.
Okay.
But I remember when he was coming through, God, about 3-4 years ago or something, then he was talked up as being like the next big thing. Everybody was talking about him, and it was one of those that never quite happened. So yeah, maybe if it does happen, it's coming at a good time because Saka needs a bit of a rest, to be honest. So
Everything Arsenal touches right now is turning to gold, right?
everything's coming up Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. If you score early, you give yourself the confidence already there. The option is there. Everything is there. So you score in 5 minutes and you're already winning all your games.
Well, Arsenal play in bursts like this, and I don't think it's
do.
accidental. They come out strong at the beginning
Always
and try and get a goal,
at the start, yeah.
and then it goes slow for a bit, and then normally just before half time, there's another push to score a goal. And it's really interesting to think that managers have these tactics.
But I bet the teams already know, but still it works, right? It works.
Yeah.
It's what Liverpool need because like Liverpool always concede the first goal this season.
Yeah, we do.
It's like how many matches like you conceded the first goal? Like
All of them, I think.
80 or 90% of matches you conceded the first goal. So I also want to ask. Okay, let's ask Marvin because I know you mentioned that you are a huge fan of Gabriel Jesus, and yeah, absolutely, he is an excellent signing. But actually, Henry will confirm that he hasn't been scoring goals lately, and that's what we want from him. Do you think it's a problem?
I don't think that. I don't like that phrase. You come back to that phrase. This player was, in quote unquote, bought to score goals. I've never agreed with that because every player that is bought, there might be one of the reasons you've kind of signed a player, but surely the real reason is so that they fit in the team and you win. Is the point. And you're going to win with a player like him because he's very good. He's not all about goals. Actually, even when he played for City, there was so many undervalued results that came as a result of something he would have done in the third. And also his off the ball work rate is really good. So actually he's a great all-round attacker. In my opinion, and if we pretend Haaland doesn't exist, then I would say Gabriel Jesus currently is the best player in the league on form. I think he is a wonderful football player. I wanted him for Chelsea. We had him and Sterling being linked, and I was like, well, I would have preferred Jesus if we could. He's really a really good player, and you're very lucky to have him there.
Absolutely, and we saw that from the first matches in pre-season, actually, didn't we, Henry?
Beat us
He
4-0.
showed it in every single match he played.
I think he's one of the Premier League's best sort of front men, if you like, and in the sense that, you know, often you have like the big man up top who will sort of like receive the ball and can go. He does that, and he's tiny, but he can take a ball from anywhere and he'll hold off the biggest defenders. And you know, he doesn't sort of necessarily out jump them, but he's very canny. He manages to just sort of push people a little bit at the last minute so they don't get a good header on it.
I said before,
penalties, free kicks, all of that. He will get assists. He's not scoring now, but he's getting assists.
But the team's scoring. The Arsenal have scored 30 goals this season, so it's working. You know,
it's working, and that's what I wanted to
say.
point.
Like, this person's not scoring, right? We have to get him out.
No, absolutely.
You do that, and then the whole thing falls apart.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to get to my next point that actually part of the reason this is working is because everybody is scoring from Arsenal's team. Like except the defense, let's say, but everyone, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, and Martinelli, everyone, Odegaard, everyone is scoring now. Reece Nelson.
But you could always, it would always be better with Amari Hutchinson. We took him from their youth academy, and he's absolutely amazing. He's he's playing in our under-21 games, and he has something like 12 goal involvements in like 6 games. He was on the bench for us the week.
Is he English?
Jamaican, I think.
Go back. Jesus reminds me, and I've said this before, of Suarez a little bit, and it's early on in the season.
What a player!
He gets his body in, he's strong. A lot of gamesmanship. I've said like that, pretending to be unconscious against Liverpool is one of the worst things I've seen on a football pitch.
But at least he doesn't get teeth stuck in
like Suarez.
Yeah. I'm in the minority that really loved Suarez. What a player he was!
What a player! I can understand how lots hated him. Similar with Jesus. I hate Jesus, to be honest.
Suarez is my kind of guy. Suarez is my kind of guy. He fights for the team, and he's got it on the ear. This is my kind of player.
You hate to love him, Paul. You hate to love him.
I've always hated him. Yeah, like he just dive but he's a really good player.
But every team has someone like that.
Grealish is a lot worse. Come on, Grealish
does that. Who doesn't do that? Like every team has someone like Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, he's terrible. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes is terrible. Liverpool don't have any. Oh, Nunes now does it actually.
Are there any Liverpool players that do this? I'm trying to.
Nunes. Salah doesn't do it.
Not so much, no.
No, Salah doesn't.
He did at the beginning. He used to dive a lot into the penalties, but not so bad. Not so bad.
He doesn't do it now.
Sometimes he goes to the ground too easily, but usually it's a foul.
Yeah.
Grealish has to be up there. On the floor every 5 seconds.
If he plays, of course.
I think Grealish gets kicked though. I think like he keeps hold of the ball long, doesn't he? And players get a little bit worried and just kick him.
Yeah.
Saka's getting it now.
Saka is
Saka's diving, actually. Saka's done 2 dives. Has he got 2 yellow cards for 2 dives in his last game?
But if you go back and look at them, I mean, one of them was a ridiculous yellow card because he even got clipped, and so and
he's been putting his leg out, hasn't he? He's been flicking his leg out, trying to get
exactly. Looking for contact, is that what they say?
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. But you can see the teams are just sort of doubling up on him and then just kicking lumps out of him because there's just he's just too good. He's unbelievable. You just can't get the ball off him, and he always does something good with it. And so they just go and kick him now. And it's a shame. It was sort of when he got injured in this game, I don't think anyone was really surprised. It'd been coming for a long time.
Yeah. Pep said something this week, and I think I've been thinking it, me and Pep, like this. Yeah. But he mentioned how he's going to pick players who he feels are given who are going to give their all on the pitch and not be worried about getting injured for the World Cup.
important.
It's a good point.
And it's a factor, isn't it? I was thinking,
Oh, yeah.
imagine like a few players have got injured and they're going to miss the World Cup.
Yeah.
And because it was in the news recently, it'll be on players' minds. For some countries, definitely. And
you have to
players in the
understand
Premier
that
League.
it's just the biggest thing, like it's the biggest achievement in their career.
Yep.
They play there, they succeed for their country often, right? So like you have to understand that.
For a lot of players, but if you're playing for Southampton and you're due to play in the World Cup soon or whatever, you're gonna be like not going into challenges. I think if you're playing for Liverpool or Man United or Arsenal, Chelsea, it shouldn't be a factor, but it might be.
I think it is a little bit, yeah. But who knows? Okay, so last question to wrap this segment up. So, are Arsenal in the title race, Henry? Should we start speaking about this, or
No.
can we still not speak about it? Is
Still
that
top
even
five.
possible?
I was saying to my colleague at work, he's a Liverpool fan, and I said, what I want for this season is, that sort of Chelsea position that's been for the last sort of few years when they come comfortably like third.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Sort of comfortably qualifying for the Champions League. So there's no sort of last minute thing at the end of the season. Nobody's going to compete with Man City. If Liverpool can't compete with Man City, then
So
no
are
one can.
you saying you want what we had during
We beat them.
Arsene Wenger's era, the last 10 years? Then
I was totally happy.
He
with
always
Arsene Wenger
qualified.
fourth place. It was great.
it was great, but the fans weren't happy about it anymore. So.
Yeah, fans are idiots. What do they know?
It's really interesting. It's really interesting to think like what fans are actually happy with, because coming fourth doesn't excite me, and I wouldn't be happy with that. I would actually rather be in win the Europa League than come fourth.
No
Me
way.
too,
I
yeah.
miss the Champions League was so good. Those games in the Champions League against against Bayern Munich, against Barcelona. How exciting is that?
Well,
It's not the same when you play Bodo Glimt or whoever it is.
I agree, actually, because when you miss it for a while, I suppose it. Like when I first saw Chelsea get into the Champions League, they used to do a game on the PlayStation, Champions League game, and it was called the Champions League, and it's when Chelsea finally got, and you could only select teams that were actually in it. So when Chelsea finally got in it, I could finally get that game, and they would be in it. And it was such a nice. Every game was exciting. It was like wow. And then we played Barcelona. We beat them 3-1, and it was like, oh my god,
it's so good. It's so exciting. It's like, who are we playing midweek? Oh, Barcelona. That's amazing.
It was great.
I just want to be back in the Champions League. I don't care about winning the Premier League.
Yeah,
that'd be a bonus. It'd be nice. But really, no. If we get in the Champions League, that would be so good.
I still think it's unrealistic. What does Paul think?
A few things. Would you rather win the FA Cup or finish fourth?
Cup.
FA
The
Cup.
Cup. Yeah.
All day long.
But like Henry, Thursday nights, I'm in a group chat and one of my friends posted Arsenal, Stoke Manchester United fan. Thursday night, and I'm on the way home on the train thinking, what's happened there? Have Arsenal got a fine or something? What, are they not playing on Saturday? What's happened? Why is he like Arsenal? It was only when I got home I realised that they lost to PSV because Thursday nights against PSV, and you've already qualified in the Europa League, so I don't know why this Manchester United fan was getting excited. About Arsenal losing.
I would add that it's only really exciting when you're in it. Like for me, it gets exciting when you're about to win the quarterfinal. This is when I start getting
Europa
excited
League.
About the Champions League. I mean, like
Champions League.
It's not exciting. You say about playing Bodo Glimt and stuff like that, but we're playing Dynamo Zagreb. I mean,
that's a good game.
Red Bull Salzburg.
That's not a bad team. Dynamo Zagreb is not a bad team.
They're okay, but it's not like you don't go, oh my god, we're going to game against we lost actually, but it's oh my god, it's for me when I get excited is when we got that quarterfinal in the second leg and we know there's a chance to be in the final four. Then you can dream. But how it's changed for me as a fan over the years because now I expect it, and that's sad. It's sad the way that football changes when you get older.
Yeah, and that's where the European Super League comes back into play, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And, like people thinking, but let's just have.
I was about to ask you because it seems like Marvin would be a fan of this because I wouldn't.
No, definitely not. I was against the idea because I just want to. I'm pretty simple as a fan. I just want Chelsea to win. I'll be happy if Chelsea win, and I'm happy. And even when I was younger, Chelsea win, and I was really pleased. If they lost a little bit, okay, fine. But I'm older now. I don't have time to be depressed for the whole weekend
Come on.
by Brighton. I just want Chelsea to win, and there's not much chance of winning the Super League. I mean,
There's the guy, the youngest of us all, saying that he's old. I love this when people say this in front
I'm
of
older than you.
in front of much older people. That's really always fun.
I'm older than you, Zdenek.
You are in your early 30s, Marvin.
I'm 36. Right? I'm 36.
You're still younger than me. I'm 39.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were 29.
No way. No, you.
Oh,
knew.
my bad.
You knew.
I didn't know.
You knew. Anyway,
as
guys,
a Liverpool fan, I would have the European Super League now.
Oh.
You're joking.
It doesn't look like we're going to qualify.
You're joking, Paul. That's a joke. You're the
It is
last
a joke,
person.
but it's
You're
also
the last person I would expect it from.
No, I know it is a joke. But Liverpool fans don't get up for matches against Leeds or Southampton or whoever. I've said Southampton twice today. Sorry if anyone is a Southampton fan. But yeah, only the big matches. What Anfield is actually, and European nights has actually got a good atmosphere now. And yeah, like for other clubs, visiting Anfield is a big occasion. But it's only when Liverpool are the underdog a little bit, or we're playing another big club that the fans and there's excitement in the stadium. I don't want the European Super League, because for many reasons. But
guys, we need to do our heroes of the week now. Yeah, let's do this. All right, who would like to go first?
I would say
go first.
Go on, Henry.
All right, sorry. I'll go. I think I said the same person last time I was on, Thomas Partey. Absolutely amazing. He ran the game on his own. Nottingham Forest gave him loads of space for some reason, but he was just unbelievable. You could watch just the highlights of Thomas Partey playing, and that would be top quality television.
And the goal he scored, was so classy.
Yeah, and every pass, he's in that sort of difficult sort of midfield position when it's quite easy to sort of go out wide. And he doesn't. He gets the ball and he goes forward every time. It goes forward, and it goes into Jesus and it goes into Odegaard, and he does it sort of these great sort of no look passes, I suppose. Yeah, where he's just so good, so good. Long passes, short passes, never takes more than one touch. He's brilliant. Absolutely.
He took some time to bed in, but now he's amazing.
You just got to look after him because he gets injured really easily. So if they can just balance that, get him. Yeah, I'd be interested to know. Is he? I presume he's going off to the World Cup.
Ghana, isn't it?
Ghana. Yeah.
So
did they make it?
Yeah, they are in it. Yeah.
I'd like to know which team in the Premier League is most affected by the World Cup. Who's going to lose the most players?
I'm sure there will be some stats about that.
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah. All right, Marvin.
My hero of the week is a little bit different from all of the obvious ones, because I believe the player has been the best in his position for the whole of this season so far, and they might be playing above their level currently. My hero of the week is Bruno Guimaraes. And I think that he is an unbelievable footballer right now. He's absolutely transformed the way that Newcastle play. His long pass and his short pass and his ball winning and his all-round game just seems to get better every single week. And he was subbed off. I watched the highlights, and he was subbed off around about 80 minutes and got an applause from the entire stadium. I think the guy is amazing. So Bruno Guimaraes would be my hero of the week.
That's a good pick. And you, Paul?
I will go with the guy that you mentioned before, Crysencio Somerville.
Yeah, me too.
He scored the winner at Anfield at the last minute in front of the Leeds fans, whipped his top off, celebrated in front of them, got subbed in that same action. But he had a good game, and what a moment for him,
I loved it as well, and I pick him too for exactly these reasons. Villains. Not you guys. But your picks.
You were not referring to us as villains.
Yes. Okay, shall I go first again? I would say the entire Bournemouth team.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, you're 2-0 up, and that would have made the weekend perfect. Chelsea lost, Liverpool lost. All we needed was Tottenham to lose.
I think
Somehow,
opposing
give away
opinions
3
about
goals.
what makes a perfect weekend, but
yeah.
for me, the villain of the week is Mason Mount. I think he's starting all the games and delivering next to nothing, and is for me just being hyped to. I don't know if any of you read social media, but by his own fans being hyped as like he's a superhero and is better than Frank Lampard. And I saw him live for the first time because I live away from the UK. Saw him live for the first time when I went to Leicester game, and I was just like, this player is bang average. I do like him in midfield. If you play in a midfield 3, he's got a lot of energy, can connect attack to defense. I think he's good at that. But in general, he's far below the level that people think he is. And for me, he was terrible again this week and doesn't create anything for the attack. So he would be my villain of the week.
And I think so he's got a big contract now.
He hasn't signed a new one yet. No.
Oh, okay. So I was my point is not valid then. I was going to say, because these young players have big contracts, they have to play.
Yeah. That's true.
But
that's true.
He hasn't. Okay. My villain of the week, I was going to say Joe Gomez, but that's a bit obvious. I might say I thought the Liverpool fans a little bit. It's just been a bit.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them.
Me included.
Both of them.
Yeah. No, Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez needs to be out the team, but it's not a massive problem. It was a bad back pass. Let's move on. We play Spurs next week.
Oh, big weekend.
Away.
Oh, that's a big game.
Big game. Yeah.
You'll win. You'll beat them this shit.
Not feeling confident though.
Don't let us down, Paul.
Yes, come on. I prefer the Liverpool win here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm torn between Gomez and Graham Potter. I think he should do better. He knows the Brighton team, right? So he should do better against Brighton. So for me, it's disappointing he lost 4-1. At least if he loses, he should have given them a better game than this. So for me, I'll give it to Potter, because I agree with Paul that Gomez is kind of too obvious. And did he play that badly in that game, or was it just that one mistake?
Yeah, he was a bit at fault for the second goal, I thought. He was by the corner flag. But
all right. Well, let's give it to Potter, because Potter has always got a lot of credit from me. So.
But he's going to be the hero of the week next week. So
hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Potter's sisters next week.
Well, if Chelsea demolish Arsenal, I'll give it to him. Okay, I promise.
We need to make up that goal difference.
Okay, guys. So, do you guys play FPL? I think.
No, I'm gonna sub myself out at this point, if you don't mind. This is
I have a checkpoint.
It's already getting late in Finland, so I'll say goodbye.
That's okay.
All right, gentlemen.
Good night.
Great.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Nice to speak with you all.
You too.
Okay. All the best.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
So this is my best week. Yeah, so far 75 points. Happy days. I have to say the best transfer I could possibly make was Almiron. Yeah, he delivered. So did Trippier.
Callum Wilson would have been the best transfer, actually.
Yeah, Wilson. Yeah, you're right. I bought him now. Look.
Have you?
I just bought him for my next
Tony?
week.
Is Tony suspended, isn't he?
Yeah, I sold Tony and bought Wilson. Yeah, I still have like 4 mil in the bank as well. So I don't know who to buy. Like, there's no one better. There's no one better to buy. I don't know who to buy. Like, so I went for Wilson.
I think you should buy Mount.
No, he's the villain of the week.
And he tours next week.
Yeah. So this is our league. Yeah, teaches
I haven't checked mine. How am I doing? Remember, I was 2 weeks behind before, so
18th.
Barbarella.
You got 58 points. Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. It's
I
below
need to
average.
get Haaland.
I had Haaland last week. I've had Haaland for 1 week. Last week, I didn't captain him when I should have.
You see, I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, so I need some more assists.
You
He
can't
hasn't got
play
any
without
assists
Haaland.
this year, has he?
Yeah,
I
he's
don't know.
Trent hasn't got any assists.
he's been underperforming.
He's
Trent
got a few
Alexander.
goals and he creates chances. He's the highest stat in the league for most big chances created.
He only has 1 goal, 1 assist.
1 goal, yeah, and there's
That's
assist.
all. And 2 clean sheets in total.
Yeah.
And all of his points basically come from that Bournemouth game, 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm thinking about selling him.
I also have Ederson in goal. He has been playing really well lately. So, Trippier, I agree with that player.
I got more points than you this week, though, Zdenek.
I saw that. I mean, I said it is my best week, but like when I saw your
right behind you, yeah,
your tally, 79.
Pickford in goal did me well. I should have had Dallo instead of Eze as my first sub.
Oh yeah, 9 points from the bench. Didn't happen, right?
No.
You subbed Haaland.
No, just he comes out, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And Eze went in because he didn't play.
Oh, Eberieze, I like Eberieze. He's a good.
He's good, isn't he? But he's going out my fancy football team, to be honest.
Elise as well. Elise is quite decent. Palace,
yeah. I think Edouard's a good player as well.
Same. They're good with young players. Palace, I think, good club.
Looks like you're doing really well in your other leagues.
They're Brazilian people. They're not my leagues, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing good in my other leagues, but that's just with me in it. So then I can't.
The only money leagues I'm not doing well in.
Yeah. Well,
money.
Mohammed is still in the first place.
Get him on the show.
I have no idea who this person is.
I just got to beat Narup. I need to beat Narup.
You should beat Narup.
Narup is in the
third
place, but he just got past Uri. So 76 points as well.
Wow.
He's got a team of Arsenal players.
Let's have a look at his team.
De Bruyne, of course, he captained De Bruyne. He did the best things here, yeah.
He's got a team full of Arsenal players in there. So.
Of course he does.
As soon as they start losing, they'll go down the league.
Good team there.
Yeah. I mean, if this game allowed 11 Arsenal players, he would have them. Yeah.
But Leon is still bottom. I noticed him.
So obviously, you guys can join this Teachers Zdenek League if you're not there yet. You just have to enter this code here, okay? So that's for you, for our viewers. And yeah, that's I guess where we will leave it, guys. So thank you very much for featuring today. I will be doing the language corner after this, but I want to thank you for your participation today and for telling us about your teams. And you know, it was a cathartic experience for you, I bet.
Yeah, it was.
Yep,
definitely.
You know, next week it could be the other way around. So, you know, you never know.
Great chat as always, fellas. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming up, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good day. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, and it's just me again, and this is the section where I will go through some of the language that our guests used in this show. So hopefully I have picked something interesting. So this is a phrase I believe that Paul used. Hang on, sorry. I'll have to post it in the comments. Yeah, he said, I caught a bit of football yesterday. So that's an interesting way of saying that he managed to see a few games of football yesterday. To catch, obviously, you can catch something physically, like a cat can catch a mouse, right? You can, of course, catch a bus, a plane, catch a train, but you can also catch a bit of football, meaning you don't miss it, right? And the past tense from catch is to caught. Is caught, right? Catch, caught, caught. Okay. The next one is, I just have to copy paste it here, guys. So excuse me for a second. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly how this phrase was used, but I believe it was when we were talking about Jesse Marsh, the Leeds manager, and how he's often criticized for being American. And I think it was Marvin who said this. He said he doesn't want to jump on the bandwagon, which is a very useful phrase indeed. And that means you don't want to do or say as other people do. So everybody criticizes Jesse March for being American and for his style and the way he speaks and the way he celebrates and all that. We mentioned it on the show. But Marvin doesn't want to be one of those people. He doesn't want to jump on the bandwagon. But I think he he introduced the sentence by saying, "I don't want to jump on the bandwagon, but," and then he said something bad about him himself. Not sure if it might have been Paul, by the way. I'm not sure who was it that said it, but this is a good idiom to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, to just do do the same as other people do. Yeah, just sort of follow the trend. It's like a little bit boring just to just do the same thing as others do. Like you're not original at all. You just follow the herd pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm not sure who said this. I should be making notes about this, but one of my guests said that I think they should be candidates for going down, and he was speaking about Leeds United team. I think they should be candidates for going down. So if you are a candidate for something, obviously we use it when we talk about job interviews. If you are a job candidate, you're one of the people that are invited to a job interview, and perhaps you will be chosen. Perhaps you get the job or you don't, right? And it's used in a similar way here. So obviously there are several candidates that might get relegated. By the way, to go down means to get relegated. Yeah. And you have like a group of teams that are the candidates that are sort of tipped for going down, right? These are the teams that people think will go down, and Leeds is one of the candidates, apparently, or at least that's what one of our guests thinks. Okay. Here we have got this phrase. If the fans, oh, there's a mistake. I made a mistake. I apologize. I'm going to fix it. It should be this. 1 second. Yep. If the fans turn against the manager, you don't last very long. So I'm not sure who we were talking about. Might have been Leeds again. And I think I said that it looked like the Leeds fans and the Leeds players are behind the manager, like behind Jesse March. But then I think it was Marvin who said also the fans are behind the manager. And it's true. And he pointed out that if they turn against the manager, they don't last. No, you don't last very long. As the manager, you don't last very long. If you don't last very long, it means you won't be the manager for a very long time. Yeah, you won't keep the job for a long time. You will be sacked. Yeah, and to turn against someone, it means to basically stop supporting them, stop backing them, stop being behind that manager, right? To turn against, you make a turn. You suddenly you don't believe in that manager anymore, right? Okay, let's carry on. Okay, here we were talking about the reasons why Liverpool are underperforming, and it was Paul who said this. I think it's a mixture of things. Yeah, so I think this is an easy phrase or easy word. A mixture. It's like a combination of different things. Imagine you're making soup and you're using all different ingredients, and it's like a mixture of everything combined, everything together. Often there's no one single reason for something. Yeah, you have a mixture of reasons, a combination of different reasons. Yeah, different factors, not just one. Okay, let's move on. As an outsider, there's a lot of good players there. So this is what Marvin said. And this is an interesting phrase. So, first of all, this is one of the things that native speakers do, and Marvin is a native speaker. They sometimes say there is a lot of good players, which technically should be there are a lot of good players, but this is like a kind of slang. It's often used like this. It's faster to say there's a lot of good players. That's why native speakers say it, because it's just faster. It's more economical when it comes to the language. However, if you write it in an essay, just be careful, or during an exam, you should say there are a lot of good players, okay? Because obviously players are in plural. And what I'm interested more in is the word outsider. So an outsider, in this sense, it's someone that does not support the team. I want to quickly check. I think we were talking about Liverpool. I think this is what Marvin said. I think Marvin said, Marvin wanted to praise or compliment the Liverpool squad. And he said that as an outsider, meaning as someone who does not support Liverpool, someone who does not have that insight into Liverpool as Paul does, he thinks that there are a lot of good players playing for Liverpool. Okay, so that's a good phrase or a word, an outsider. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly check something for you guys. I want to check the pronunciation of the word outsider. Okay.
Outsider.
So outsider. So the stress is on side. So outsider. Okay. Right. Paul was talking about formations, and he used a phrase out of fashion. So 4-4-2 went out of fashion in England. 4-4-2 is one of the most common formations, but in England it stopped being used. It's not used anymore by managers playing in the Premier League. Not so much anymore. It went out of fashion. If something goes out of fashion, it loses its popularity. It stops being used. It's not fashionable anymore. Okay. Right. Moving on. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I made this very kind of brief comment. I said Origi is a piece of furniture of Liverpool. I believe Marvin was sort of wondering why Liverpool let Origi go. He said he was a good player, and I added, and Origi was a piece of furniture. I think he had been at Liverpool for a long time, not always playing, not always starting, but always ready to score, and had a lot of respect by the fans. And I added he was a piece of furniture at Liverpool. So if you are a piece of furniture somewhere, you have been somewhere for a long time, and usually, like, we talk about a place of work, and it's hard to imagine that place, that workplace, without you, because you are a piece of furniture there. So we've got some staff members working for the same company for 20 years, and sometimes they're taken for granted, but they are a piece of furniture at that company. Like, the manager cannot imagine the team or the company without those people. Yeah. Okay. Do we have some more stuff here? I think we mentioned briefly Spurs as well, and I think it was Marvin who said they will always bottle it. So this is, you guys know what a bottle is, right? You know what a bottle of water. But you can also use this as a verb. And if you say somebody bottles it, it means to mess it up. If it's usually you use it when you have a big chance to achieve something big, and usually you're really near the top, but you bottle it, you mess it up at the very last minute usually, and that's what Spurs do. That's what Tottenham Hotspur do. I apologize to any Tottenham Hotspur viewers. Part of what I'm saying is obviously banter. Okay, so take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, moving on. What else do we have here? Okay, I think a game Arsenal Liverpool was mentioned briefly by Henry. I don't know if it was Henry, but could have been him. And he said the biggest the biggest stroke. There's a mistake. It should be I bottled it. Biggest stroke of luck. It should be my bad. The biggest stroke. I'm going to fix it. The biggest stroke of luck. Still something wrong with it, guys. I'm sorry. The biggest stroke of luck. The biggest stroke of luck was. It should be right. The biggest stroke of luck was. You know what? Why this is happening? Because when I do the show, I have to make notes during the show, and I don't always. I write really fast, and I don't always have time to check it after myself. The biggest stroke of luck was Luis Diaz getting injured. So a stroke of luck is a good phrase which you use. It's like a moment of luck. Yeah, it's the biggest moment of luck was when Luis Diaz was injured because he was playing so well and because he's an excellent Liverpool player, and that we Arsenal were lucky that he got injured, and that really helped us win the game, or at least that was the point. Whoever used this phrase, I believe it was Henry, was making. Okay, Marvin said, everything Arsenal touches right now is turning to gold. That's a nice phrase, right? So everything you touch turns to gold. It means everything Arsenal do, every single match they play, they just come out on top. They just win it. It turns to gold. Like it's pure beauty to watch their games, and they're scoring a lot of goals, and everything is turning to gold. Yeah, everything is excellent. Everything Arsenal are involved in is excellent stuff, or is or has a positive outcome. Yeah, let's say. Okay. Yeah. Also, we were talking about Saka and how he's often how players often have a go at him because he holds the ball a lot, he controls the ball, he carries the ball a lot. Saka, yeah, the Arsenal player, and as a result of that, the oppositions, they often double up on him. To double up on someone, it means so it's not just one player that sort of challenges Saka or marks Saka or defends Saka. It's usually more players. Yeah, teams are doubling up on him, meaning they use more players to defend Saka, which means it's more difficult for Saka, and often as a result of that, he's injured, or he has to pass the ball. He can't always dribble past all those players that are doubling up on him. All right, I think we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this language corner bit. I think it works, but you will be the judge of that. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you like the show, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the show. Thank you. I've been Zdenek. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you next week. Cheers. Bye.